congratulations, first of all, on your new baby.
Thank you very much.
Way.
Yeah.
And then the new album is, I think it's finished, is it?
Yeah, it's already finished. Yeah, it's already being
our
pressed.
fifth baby.
Yeah, fifth baby, yeah.
The album.
Yeah. So how many altogether? Do you have two, like, babies and then this is the fifth
Album.
baby?
Yeah.
It's like 8 babies, like 5 albums and 3 kids.
Yeah. So how do you manage it all, like?
Very easy. No.
The albums or the babies?
Seriously, how do you manage it?
No, it's just because of family and other different way of touring that you can combine the two. And of course, with every parent who has a job, you have to find a certain kind of balance between both worlds that you want to have. So yeah. That's
Yes.
it.
And Dad says?
And Dad says, no, yeah, but it's like that. No, it's really, you have to make compromises here and there. And we just hope that they will still know you. You know, we put big pictures, you know, like there. Daddy. Nice.
Daddy really nice. Mommy even nicer, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. And I have to say, as I said before, your website is amazing. Like, how do you find the time to? I think it's really important for the fans that there's like all kinds of video blogs and video posts and.
Yeah, well, the thing is that it's something that we felt like when we were looking at our old webpage, was like we felt like it was a little bit boring and outdated because there's so many new social media now, and trying to integrate that in our new website in a way. And
yeah, and also that you not only have the news anymore, like next single and next shows, then you know, but it's more like a bit of a news website where there's different categories of stuff, things which also interest us, like gadgets or maybe fashion things, Sharon or
racing for Robert.
Yeah, or other strange
hobbies,
dirty hobbies. Yeah. But also that fans can put news there. You know, that's also nice. You know, they can, if they think something is nice happened in their town, or they've seen another band, or you know, they can put it on the site and everybody can comment on it, and it becomes more.
More interactive kind of thing.
Yeah, just a living web page.
And I can see you're not that jealous about your website, because there's like a lot of posts like from different bands and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we also, you know, first of all, you're a music lover, you know, and you like music in general, and it doesn't stop when you're having a band, and it's nice to talk also about other bands and to be that it becomes more one thing, because it's people intend to see you just as a band, but you know, you have so many other things that you like. It's so nice to also to let it out and also talk about that and see how many things your fans have in common with you also.
Yeah, and then it's also, you know, and we anyway don't believe in competition with music. You know, you or like music or you don't. You know, and that's about it.
And also, a song is basically good or it's bad. A bad song. Meaning, like, also when we judge music, we like all kinds of music. It could be Madonna, but it could also be a very metal band. And it's just, if a song is good, it's good. And you know, and then we like it. It's not about the genre music, because we like so many different kind of music.
So talking about your next album, whose idea was the comic book? Do you remember?
It's something that just grew gradually. Actually, it's something we both liked when we were growing up as kids. And but the thing was more like in the beginning we tried to hook up with a movie in the beginning and try to see if there would be a movie that was going to be released that we liked and we could base our lyrics on. And because of the difficult time to get one simultaneous release, we decided, okay, this is not going to work. So maybe we have to find another way to tell a good story, and why not do it through a comic, because that's something we liked as children as well. And also, this is not really a children's comic, but it's more a serious one. And
also one of the main reasons was that we didn't want to like write our lyrics, like tell the story from A to Z, you know, that
exactly.
they start like once upon a time in your music lyrics. We didn't like that. We just wanted to make songs which are based on a story, and you don't have to tell the whole story in the songs. So therefore you also need something to really tell the story.
Yeah.
And a comic is something where you can go much deeper into the story than normal song lyrics. And at the same time we also thought like, well, we can also make some movies to it, you know, like just like the X-Men, you know, you have a comic and you have the movies, and or Sin City is also based on a comic. And so we wanted to kind of grab that feeling, you know, like a story with with also some movies to show the characters, to give them more emotion, and to tell where they're from. So that's also why we made 3 short movies about this story.
Yeah, well, there are several type of characters. Everybody has a different story to their past, and
so like the main character is anyway. The main character is Janice.
Yeah.
She's a detective, and she at a certain point discovers that there's a
squad.
There's a team of people which are hunting bad guys, and because she's also in search of the killer of her own daughter, she starts to give this team also information, and but it's also not a normal team. It's a team of people who actually killers themselves, but who died and who are kind of repaying for their sins by catching other bad guys. And Mother Maiden, the scary old lady, she's bringing these killers back to life to hunt the bad guys. That's in short the story.
The whole idea is like, it's an amazing idea, but it must mean a lot of work. So tell us a little about the whole process, how it went.
Yeah, well, when we look back, we think like, oh my God.
I can imagine.
Well, you were not the only one. Everybody around was saying, you're both crazy. It's not possible in a few months. It needs 2 years, but it's too ambitious.
Yeah, but I think that the most important thing is that we were working with people who were really enthusiastic about the idea, and we've got some really talented people. Also, the guys who made the movie, they also had some great ideas about the story, because the story was not even finished at that point, and this is something you can't do alone, So you really need people who have the same kind of thinking and work on with the same ideas, and that's really the only way to pull it off. And it could have gone insanely wrong, because
exactly.
If the movies would have been shit, then the whole thing would also be terrible, but it really worked out.
You've also said that you've probably brought the best songs so far.
Yes, well, for us, and they came so naturally and so easy in a way, but also with so much variety and so much. Not one song is representing the whole album. It's very, but still, when you hear the whole album behind each other, it's like still like one thing.
And I think that the most important thing with this album is that we really thought that we had to do something different now after the last album, which was, to our opinion, a perfect album what we could make, So we were at the point where we were searching for something new and fresh, and that's a very dangerous point, because you can go really cramp and search in forced directions. But I think what we've learned is that we really let go of any expectations or feelings, and we just went with what we felt, and then just threw away all the restrictions.
It was more like, of course, we always done what we felt, in the past, and we always done what we liked. But it was more like then we had in the past we had a really clear goal, which direction we wanted to work towards. And now at this time, it was more like that we let go of all musical boundaries and just do things that normally we'd never even dare touching, like influences from the 80s, for instance.
And that was the funny thing, that those influences came above.
Yeah.
And for us, that's also why this album is a very fresh and magical album, because it's got so many new elements in it, and what Sharon also said, the variety is so big. You've got some songs which are almost popish, and some songs are really the heaviest guitar riffing songs we've ever made. So it's quite an entertaining album also for ourselves.
That was my next question, because you have a really like pop and really heavy stuff on the album. Yeah, so it's really funny, like.
Yeah, well, and you know what I think is, what I think is maybe also the red line of this album is that every song has a very catchy chorus. Even the heaviest song has a catchy chorus, and even the song which might be defined as more industrial pop kind of thing could be seen is with heavy guitars in a way. So it's a really weird contrast, but it does seem to work on the album. And
now I think for the music that's also what we wanted. We didn't want to think about the concept. We just wanted to write what came up and go with our feelings. But for the lyrics, it was, I think, in a way easier, you know, because we really had all the songs finished, and then we looked at the songs and thought like, okay, well, this part of the story really fits that song, and that emotion is really fitting that character, so let's write a lyric about that character or this idea in the story. So that kind of went, it was easier.
Yeah, it was easier because you have already. It was easier because you don't have to also to always grab in your own personal life. You already have like. You already know where it's going towards. Of course, you put, of course, words and certain kind of emotion to it from your own personal life, but not that you have to write it lyrically, completely about your own. So that's a really nice thing to have, an extra. Yeah.
So you're performing in New York next fall.
Yeah.
What are the expectations for that?
Well, you know, people always ask us about America, but we never had, like, a lot of bands have the dream to go to America and make it big time in America. But it's, you know, it's already, it's something, it's an extra flavor to our touring, but it's not something that it's aimed to conquer America. We're going to do a really cool show there in a very cool venue for a lot of people, but we'll see where it goes. And
I mean, we do feel privileged, you know, because we can play pretty big places there already, which is nice because we can really do our show, you know, so that's of course quite amazing. But as Sharon says, it's always a new step, you know. Like, for example, we're really looking forward to tour in Australia because we've never been there, never had the time to do that, and so yeah, it's really nice to go to all these different countries.
And also the thing is that America is so big. A lot of bands break up because of America, because the touring is something non-comparable to Europe or any other place actually. So but it's still a very cool place to go to, and it's really. Like Robert says, we like the cultures, also the differences between cultures.
Yeah. You're really famous for your live shows. They seem to be really amazing. Like, any surprises for the next live show next fall?
Well, we have now a little bit more time, of course, because we have had to postpone the tour. But so we're after the promotion, we're going to develop that, and we're going to try to make something spectacular again and something new from the last time, of course. But it's every time you try something different. Then, like with the Black Symphony, we did something with a big orchestra and a lot of features, of course, coming around. But this time it will be something different again, integrating the movies and the comic and maybe some 3D animation and stuff like that. So
yeah, we experimented already a little bit with that on our theater tour, like really getting. You know, like that when you go as a...
Sorry.
It's for the baby, it's not for
obviously.
The baby needs some candy now. But we're gonna like bring the actors and the story to the stage, but also in a way that you don't know if what's real or not. You know, and that's what we're trying to do. That it's going to be really an experience.
3D illusions.
Yeah.